So I'm really happy because every time we show the movie and then I ask, do you have any question about that? They're shy at the first moment, as the same happens in Rome. But then after 5 minutes, everyone is gaming and sorry, I wanted to ask about that, but what are you using to do that? What are you using to do that? And so they are really interested. We received a lot of like a really good movie. We like the movie and everything, and we are super proud and happy about that. But the most important things, they get really stoked about the citizen science, and they ask many questions about how to do that and how to become like the next citizen scientist, which is like exactly the main goal of the movie, like inspire people to do the same. We wanted to express exactly that, like we are not professionals, we are not like super pro, we are normal people leaving the sea and trying to give something back.
Oi, eu sou Marina Guedes e esse é o Maré Sonora, o seu podcast para navegar em conversas muito inspiradoras e de vez em quando divertidas também. All right, 3, 2, 1. Today we are recording episode 198 with Andrea Lamorte. Did I say it properly?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So this last name, I have to start by asking your last name, because when I read, it sounds a bit French. And then when I saw your Instagram, I saw you put La Muerte. So where does it come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, it comes from Basilicata, which is a region of Italy. And you know, the meaning of La Morte is in English is the death. It's quite tough. It's quite tough, but it's my name. Like it's my family name. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, when I saw, I was like, it sounds very French, like La Morte or something. I'm gonna ask him, is it French or Italian or?
Yeah, I've been joked a lot when I was a teenager, but it's okay. I always thought is like it is a good thing for me. Like people will remember me. Then it's like I have to be remembered like in a good way and not in a bad way. But if in a crowd you call my name, everyone will remember it for sure.
And it's great because when people get to know you, they can tell you have a very positive vibe, and you're also involved with nice, inspiring projects. So you can tell you are pretty much a very full of life and energy. That's the impression that I got from you last event in Rome.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, really, thank you so much.
Andrea, your very good friend Luca Tixi was here a few weeks ago, was talking with me for the podcast, which was launched in September 22nd, and he spoke a little bit about the project, and but I would love to hear you, how you came up with the idea to make the documentary called Playground, and how did it all started?
Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, Luca is a good friend of mine and he's my neighbor. Like we live really really close. And during the COVID period, we can't go out of our houses, and we spend a lot of time together, talking and chatting and discussing. And so we learned a lot. And then some years ago, I already made a movie called Kids Are Future. I've been to Senegal with some kids I train, and it was like we used the appeal of surfing to discuss about something more. We discussed about diversity and about different culture and about growing up in different situations, and it has been really fun. And I thought like these things of video, if you have to say something, if you really want to say something, it's a good way. I really liked it. I liked making the video, the whole making of, And I liked a lot even what happened after, like all the people I met, all the people I talked to about like deep things because of the video. So I really liked this. And so I had the idea to make a second video, Playground, talking about like a real history that happened to me and Luca, which is exactly what happened during that period. Like we shared our passion and our knowledge, and thanks to him I started to think about the sea in a deeper way, not just about surfing and surfing and surfing. I was always focused on surfing. Like I even moved from my city to another city because of surfing. But then I didn't know the sea so well. I didn't know my playground, and thanks to Luca and all the everything we did together, I started to know my playground more and more. And then I said, okay, maybe I can share this because maybe it can be inspiring for other people. That's how it started.
I had a very amazing impression after watching, because it was presented last week in Rome at the Patagonia shop in the Salaria. And what struck me most was the capacity of engagement with the people regarding the citizens science citizen.
Citizen science.
Thank you. Yeah, citizen science. I was in doubt now. So citizen science concept, like the idea to engage people in the process of making science, so that can end up in conservation, in helping to promote more conservation initiatives all over. That's really, really awesome initiative.
Yeah, all the whole idea about the movie is talking about citizen science. Like everything I did ended up in this citizen science thing, which is something that if I do it on myself, it's not useful at all. It's something that if every person, every outdoor addict is doing that, so then it's becoming really useful. That's why we decided to talk about this in the movie, because it's something that must be known. Everyone who is doing outdoor activities must know this. And you know what, except for the data things. So with citizen, I will explain like really fast. Like with citizen science, people who's doing sport outdoor can take data and use this data to like they can give this data to people who's doing scientific research. People who's doing scientific research always have a loss of data because they have no one going out and taking this data, or they can do it like in a very limited way. But if we used all the people who are outdoor every day doing surfing and kayaking and diving and trekking and everything you can do outdoor, if all these people can like take can be talked how to take data that can be used by scientists, this is great. But what happened like from the part of the surfer or the kayaker is not only like taking data, is more that you get involved in a process in which you start to know better your playground, and then you enjoy even more your activities. That this is what happened to me. Like I've been really happy to collect datas while I was surfing, but I'm happier that the thing I'm most happy is all the process I've been involved to, like knowing more about my playground, and then I can even collect datas. But to do that I have to know more what's happening around me, and then every time I go surfing now I can enjoy more my playground. This
And
is
when When you say about that data collection, like you talk about water temperature and current, what sort of data, just for anyone out there who hasn't seen the documentary yet, just to know what you mean by collecting data, what kind of data?
Yeah, okay. It depends on the activity you're doing. For example, like in surfing, we are collecting just water temperature, which is a really important data because the part where we surf, which is not open sea and it's not the coast, is like in the middle. It's where all the life, like the marine life, the most part of the marine life is, and the most part of biodiversity is. So imagine if I go surfing and I take some data about the temperature where I'm surfing. If I do it on my own, it's not useful. But if every surfer is putting this small sensor to their ankle and collecting data about the temperature, scientists can know exactly what is happening along the shore, along the coast where we surf. So in this case, like for surfing, this is the reason why we just collect water temperature. But for example, the sailor you saw in the movie, he was collecting water temperature, but in open sea, so it's a different situation, and salinity. Or for example, the diver, he was collecting photos because in the story you see he is a really passionate diver and a very passionate photographer, and so he's going diving and taking photos. So when you see something strange, he takes photos and he can upload this on an app which is called iNaturalist, and is kind of a big encyclopedia. I don't know how to say it in English, where you can see, okay, you saw this kind of animal in this place. If everyone is doing that, you can really track the moving of the different species.
And Andrea, what about your connection with the sea? Because you can easily see how passionate you are. Like you are a surfer and you work as an osteopath. I don't know how to say that
Yeah.
too, but
Yeah.
how did you start surfing? Because you're from Liguria as well. Just tell us a little about your experience, how did it all start, and as far as it's surfing is concerned.
Well, this is a good question because I'm not from Liguria. I'm from Piemonte. I'm from Torino. Like
Ah, okay.
I come from the mountains. So I came from the mountains and I did all the board sport like skating and snowboarding and everything. But I never lived close to the sea. And for me, surfing has always been something that I had to do, but I'm not living in the right place to surf. So then when I discovered that I could surf in Italy, I started to go to Liguria and started to surf. But I was already like 18. I was like old, like people is starting surfing at like my son is 4 years and is starting surfing now. I started
Wow.
when I was 18, and then I started to go to Liguria every time the more I could, and I was so passionate that while doing university in Torino, so in the mountains, while doing university, I always try to finish my exam early so I can go surfing somewhere. And then I started during the summer season going working abroad, like in surf houses or something like this. It was a good way for me to stay away close to the ocean for more time, because if I had to work and then with the money going surfing, I could surf like for 1 week, something like this. If I went surfing, if I went working in surf houses, something like this, I could work and surf for 3 months. So I started doing like this. Then I decided I couldn't live close to the mountain anymore, and I started to move to to the sea. And while I started living close to the sea, I discovered that it was not only surfing, like it was the sea who was giving me a lot. And so I started to dive, and I started to go fishing and to go kayaking. I discovered that I can like play with the sea in more ways, that it was not only surfing. Surfing is always like number one, like on the top. If there are waves, this is what I want to do. But then I discovered that there are so many things I can do that I really love, and then that really like deep my soul. That's it.
There were some footages pretty amazing in the documentary in Playground. I was amazed by some wave shapes. Were they all shot in the region of Liguria, like the footages of you guys surfing? It's amazing. At some stage, it looks like, I don't know if it was you or the other person, but I don't remember his name. It's not Luca, the other guy, but
Giovanni.
Giovanni looks like he's, or you, floating, like walking on the water. There's amazing footage. I was super impressed by the shape of the waves. I didn't know you have so many big waves impressive in Italy. I was completely ignorant about that.
Well, it's not all Italy. Like the first part, when in the movie they are like presenting me who I am. This is not only Italy. There are some waves from Senegal, because I spent a lot of time in Senegal, and from Maldives.
Okay.
Then in the middle of the movie, where you have like the really surfing part, then this is all Italy, and it's
Yeah.
all made in one day. That day that
Wow.
we waited for so long. But for so long, it was never the good day. We had so many days like calling all the video makers and filmmakers, and then we are there in front of the sea, and the sea is flat, or the conditions are not what we wanted. So in Italy, it's not so easy to have good conditions. And then really at the end of the movie, there's a scene where you see like a giant wave. This is not Italy at all. This is Nazaré,
Ah,
and this is Giovanni, who's he is really a charger, and he went surfing in Nazaré. When
in
I
Portugal.
saw that video, I said, "You are completely stupid." You said, "Yeah, I'm not too intelligent in doing this."
Nazaré in Portugal, right? Where they have
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah.
massive, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Giovanni is really he likes big surfing. He likes to be involved in big surfing.
I cannot remember. It's definitely not in the beginning. It's like middle end of the footage. This one I saw. It's so amazing. It really looks like you guys are floating, are walking on the water. Because you can't see really the board. And then I have to watch again. I definitely have
Yeah,
to.
like the part with a really good light, with a red light.
Yeah, it's a sort of a foggy day, not like a overcast day, something. I can't remember very well, Andrea, but I just got a very crazy impression. Like, look at these guys, what are you doing? And then I was amazed, wondering, do you usually have big waves in the winter in Liguria or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah. Normally, when you talk to people who is not living in Liguria, everyone say, surfing in Italy, this is not possible. Like I always go to Liguria, and there are never waves, because everyone come during the summer season, and during summer season here it can be flat for like 3 months, easy. But then
Wow.
during the winter and autumn and spring, you have like bad weather, and then swell and storm coming. So it's not easy to have like proper good conditions, but we have waves. We are really used to surf in bad conditions.
And what about the temperature of the water? Because Lucas said it gets as cold as 13 degrees Celsius, of course,
Yeah,
but
yeah, during the winter it can be 13, 14 degrees, which is not like so low. Like in Italy, on the other, we are in Liguria. On the other side, on the Adriatic Sea, I have some friends who are surfing there, and it can get like 6 degrees.
Wow.
I surfed in 6 degrees when I was in Iceland in November. So you can imagine it can get like kind of
Wow.
uh, kind of cold.
I'm going to Reykjavik next week for a congress about the Arctic Circle. I've never been to Iceland. I'm super excited, but it's going to be a very short trip, like a 4-day trip for the congress, and I hope I can see a little bit of the country. And it seems
Really,
amazing. Yeah, but it's just
I'm
4-day trip.
I'm going to Reykjavik in the middle of November
Ah,
for a surf
wow.
camp. I'm going with a group of guys I'm training, and we will be there with a surf guide in Iceland, and we
Wow.
are going surfing for 1 week in the island.
And how thick is the wetsuit? How many millimeters do you have to wear for surfing? Yeah.
Well,
How?
the first time I've been there, I've surfed with a 6 millimeter wetsuit, and then booties and everything, like gloves and booties. But then now I have a 5 millimeters, which is like brand new, and I wanted to use that. I'm gonna try. But the most important thing, like you have to have a really good wetsuit, like
Uh-huh.
5 or more. But then you even have to have booties and gloves, like really good. You can't stay without it. Like in Italy, it can get cold, like even 0 degrees outside of the water. But then you can stay in the water without booties and without gloves. I never wear booties or gloves during the winter in Italy. In
Ah,
Iceland, you can't do that. It's a
wow.
different way to approach surfing because it's not okay. There are good waves. I'm going. You have to think about more things. It can get more dangerous, so you have to think about it. But it's more adventure, so I like it a lot.
Yeah, and talking about the Ocean Film Festival, I have to make a correction, an apology, because in Patagonia I said 22nd and I made a mistake by saying that the one of Rome is actually the 20th. I felt really guilty afterwards.
Okay.
I was telling my husband, no, I said 22nd. 22nd is in Milano, not Rome. So
Now everyone is going on the wrong on the wrong day because of
because of
you.
me, no, I feel really crap. But anyway, this podcast is a solution. I mean, it's a way to apologize and to correct myself. It's Rome, it's the 20th. So 22nd of October starts in Milano and then goes all the way up to 28th of November. So everyone who is listening to us, make sure you check the website and double check where you'd like to see it, because many cities, like more than 15 cities in Italy, will be broadcasting the film festival. So
Yeah,
there it
we
is.
are so proud about this. Like when we started doing the movie, we said our main goal is the Ocean Film Festival because we always go every year. We go to the Ocean Film Festival, and we always get so inspired about that. And so when we started doing the movie, we say we want to go there, and we are so proud. We are going to the Ocean Film Festival. We're like we are going to the cinema. Like I feel a bit strange. Like I'm going to see my movie in the cinema. I'm super happy about that. I'm super proud about that.
How have the feedback so far been, Andrea? Because I imagine you have heard many comments from the people who had the chance to watch, like myself last week. And what can you share about it so far?
I'm super happy because every time we show the movie, then people start to ask about citizen science. Like I see people really want to get involved and want to understand what they can do, because it's something that you have to understand how to fit in your life, no, exactly how the diver and photographer is doing. Like it's something like he's already doing that. He's already diving every day, already taking photos every day. You just have to upload it. And so I see people is interested in that and trying to understand what they can do to be the next citizen scientist. So I'm really happy because every time we show the movie and then I ask, do you have any question about that? They're shy at the first moment, as the same happens in Rome. But then after 5 minutes, everyone is gaming and sorry, I wanted to ask about that, but what are you using to do that? What are you using to do that? And so they are really interested. Well, we received a lot of like a really good movie. We like the movie and everything, and we are super proud and happy about that. But the most important things, they get really stoked about the citizen science, and they ask many questions about how to do that and how to become like the next citizen scientist, which is like exactly the main goal of the movie, like inspire people to do the same. We wanted to express exactly that. Like, we are not professionals, we are not like super pro, we are normal people leaving the sea and trying to give something back, and everyone can do the same. So we're super happy that what people is asking is exactly what we wanted. And that's the reason why we made the landing page. Like, as you saw at the end of the movie, there's a QR code who is sending to a landing page where you can see everything about the movie and the person who got involved and everything. But then you have the scientific part, where it's explained what the citizen science is and what kind of tools we used, and like the name of the app and the link to go to the app, or the name of the tool and the link to buy the tool or get the tool, so everyone can do that. Like, the following day can do the same thing we did. Yeah, that's it. That's the main feedback we received.
And Andrea, I will make sure I write it down in the description of this episode, all the links, so people interested in what you're saying can actually go directly. And I totally recommend anyone out there in Italy who can have the chance to watch, to go to the Ocean Film Festival, again, starting 22nd in Milano, going all the way to 28th of November, Rome, the 20th of November. 8 o'clock, the Space Cinema Moderno. So downtown Rome, it should be starting 8 o'clock. On the website, you can buy the tickets online, you can book. And I was curious about because you, apart from being in the movie, in the documentary, you also helped writing it, right? You kind of directed at the same time you appeared in the movie. How was it for you, the process?
It was the first time for me, like the first movie we made, like the one in Senegal I was talking about before. It was more like a documentary. So we've been there, we went there, we filmed everything, and then the filmer put everything together. But then in this case, I had to write a storyboard. I have to write what we had to film and what people had to say. And I liked it because, like, the idea of doing this was mine, and so I really liked the all the process of doing exactly what I wanted. Like, I could see my idea taking shapes because of the filmmaker that I really thank him, and we are close friends, and I know what he was going to do. But it's been really, yeah, really good, really fun to write it down and then see it was putting images and sound to what I was just thinking. It's been really fun. But I like to write. I like to write. I write things on my own sometimes, and so it's not been like so difficult for me. something that I made with a lot of passion, and I was super motivated to do that. But I like it, and it's been like longer than I expected.
How long did it take you guys for making, like coming up with the idea and then seeing it ready?
From the moment we say we wanted to do that till the film went out, a couple of years.
Okay. And Andrea, to finish our chat for today, and please let us know, we are in contact now through WhatsApp. Please let us know when you have any news, any new production, new movie, because it's a really, really inspiring topic. And I'm sure everyone who will watch it will feel like participating. What can you say about things that you learned after this project, engaging yourself as a citizen towards science? What has made you change in that regard since you started the whole process?
Well, first of all, I learned a lot of things about biology. All the things I explained before about we are collecting data about temperature, about salinity, why do we have to collect photos, and why it's important to track the biodiversity and all this stuff. I didn't know it before, and I learned during the process of what happened, like not during the process of doing the movie, but in the movie we are like saying and telling what happened before. So all this learning process about biology and knowing more like the playground than about forecast, because Luca is really expert about forecast, and we used even some tools about like the meteor tracker. And so I learned a lot about how to read forecast and what's happening in the forecast. And I got really passionate about this because, as we said, I work as an osteopath, and in osteopathy you really see like the body as an ecosystem. And the most interesting thing about these playground things is that I started to learn better the way the earth ecosystem is working, and I could compare it with the way the body ecosystem is working, and they work kind of the same way. Yeah, that's the main things I learned.
Awesome, Andrea. Thank you so much for your time. And like they say in Italy, complimenti for the beautiful work. And I hope the film is able to inspire many other people going through, like we mentioned, more than 15 cities within the country. And I'm pretty sure we'll have super, super nice approaches and feedback. And yeah, wish you all the best and good waves and keep us updated.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for asking me to talk about it. And that's it. I will put my wetsuit on and go back to the sea because it's a good surfing day. And so, thank you. Still, thank you.